Hey, good evening. Welcome. Welcome to this evening's Integral Body Institute live daily meditation. I'm Andrew Carter. And we'll just give people a minute or so to join in the live stream. Hey, Irene. Great to have you here again. Feel free to let me know who you are. I'm here in a beautiful Polish forest on a warm, wet evening with a bird song all around me. Yeah, feeling very lucky to be here. Curious where you all are. So, if you can reach your phone and send me a wave, say hi. So we're going to do a meditation tonight. It's going to be 30 minutes maximum, and I call it Move into Joy. And for me, joy is our absolutely natural underlying state of being. And quite often it can get masked, can get blocked or overlaid with a lot of other stuff that we're carrying. And for me, this is about taking these 30 minutes together to make a space for our natural joy to rise up. And I find this practice really effective in allowing that joy that's there to come through. There are 3 stages to the meditation. I'll guide you through the whole thing. The first stage is shaking. The second stage involves standing and witnessing ourselves in stillness. And the third stage involves movement. And I guess the invitation I make to you tonight is take this time to really celebrate yourself. Yeah? Together here we celebrate ourselves, we celebrate our being, we celebrate these wonderful bodies that we are here with. And yeah, just allow ourselves to make space for the possibility that there is abundant joy there for us. So we'll start the meditation with shaking, as I said, which you might have done before or you might not. For me, the idea of the shaking is we're letting the body find its own natural way of shaking. We might need to give it a push sometimes or start the shaking, but as much as possible, not trying to make it happen, not trying to give it any particular direction, but just allowing the shaking. And for me, the shaking is really about shedding what it is that holds us back from joy, shedding the patterns, shedding the ideas, the expectations, all the plans, all the self-judgment, all of that stuff that can tie us down, can contain the joy to the point that it doesn't have space to move, and shaking those. So give yourself permission to shake big, to shake wild if you need to. And to begin by putting your feet parallel, background. Keep your feet parallel, about a hip width apart, and from the knees, just drop down into the knees. Maybe you want to close the eyes. It's a good way of being centered in the body. And find the ground under your feet. And drop down a little deeper into that bend in the knees. Bend even a little more. And just see if you want to notice any natural shaking arising in the pelvis. And if you don't, like I said, you can give it a little nudge, get it started, or simply wait. Allow it to come in its own time. And the emphasis is really on not manufacturing the shake, not shaking the body ourselves, but allowing ourselves to be shaken. There is a very, very natural kind of automatic mechanism that we often suppress to shake, to let go, as a mechanism of... And the nervous system has this built by just dropping into the knees, putting those thigh muscles under a little bit of time. We're just kind of giving encouragement to start this shaking in the core. And you can let the hands hang loose by the sides and the arms. As I said, it's up to you whether you want to exaggerate it a little bit. Just for a moment, just give the shaking a bit of encouragement, a bit of a nudge, but see if you can let go then and just let it find its own way. And notice again your contact with the ground. See maybe if you can imagine the shaking as coming from the ground through the body, radiating up through the body. Noticing shake in many directions, not just up and down, but also forwards and backwards, sideways, and even rotating, shaking around the vertical axis. See if you can keep letting go into the shake. Shaking is all about letting go. Yeah, and involve the limbs as well. The arms want to shake. The hands. But again, where possible, just relaxing into it. Allowing the body to be shaken by this force. And remembering the neck as well and the head. Possibility for the neck and the head to shake. Maybe the jaw wants to shake. And see if you can soften the knees a little. You can experiment with putting the head back. Feels almost as if the throat for me. Yeah, and let the shaking grow. Let it take up as much space as it can. We're so often so bound up by tension in our body that we carry, by the weight of expectation, by wanting, reaching, sometimes grasping. And this is a time to just let all of that fall away. Yeah, and if the shaking wants to get even bigger, surrender to it. Allow that. Nobody says the arms have to stay hanging downwards. Nobody says you have to stay standing on 2 feet. Nobody says you can't bend over and let the top half of the body relax while the legs and the pelvis keep shaking. And if you want to, you can even lie down on your back on the floor and pop the arms even upwards and allow them to shake in that position. I invite you to give that a try. And you take the weight off the legs particularly, it can be really interesting how they want to shake. And if a sound wants to come out, sigh, the noise, let it. And just notice if you're getting stuck in it, as if maybe the mind somehow is taking over, or the system is getting locked into some kind of pattern of shaking, and become your own disruptor. Move in a different direction. And keep coming back to the shaking in the core, in the pelvis. That's really where this tremoring has its origins. Using the next minute or so to transition into the second phase, which is standing in stillness. So just allow the shaking to find its own end. If there are any parts that weren't shaken so far, you can let them be shaken. And slowly settle the body. Into standing position. Again, your feet parallel, about hip width apart. Keep your knees soft, unlocked. And now we're just witnessing everything that's alive in the body. Again, just reminding ourselves that joy is a natural state. It's our very essence. Joy is the unadulterated, direct experiencing of the life force in all its fullness. And as we stand here and we're celebrating ourselves in this meditation, just take note of all that's going on inside this miracle of life that is you in this body, in this form. And this miracle that is holding all these parts, matter, up above the ground, balancing. What do you feel right now? Where do you feel it? Where is your attention most drawn to? Side of the body somewhere, gently bring it back inside the body. Bring it back to what's real for you now. And notice you have some reference points here. You have the contact with the ground under the soles of the feet. Feel the breath moving in and out of the body. Notice the muscles involved in breathing, contracting as you breathe in and relaxing as you breathe out. And feel into the very center of your pelvis, the spot close to the tailbone, the coccyx. See if you can notice the faintest microscopic movement there. And if it's not clear, imagine for a second that your body is making constant readjustments to hold this posture. Most of the time we're not even aware of. See if you can allow yourself to become aware of this small dance, as it's called in the world of contact improvisation. This dance your body is constantly engaged in as we stay upright. Become aware of the hands hanging down alongside the thighs. See if you can become aware of how they move ever so slightly, and on the out breath they descend again. How are you right now in your spine? Imagine this structure from the tailbone to the base of your skull. And maybe you're aware of gravity, a sense of weight, attachment to the ground. And at the same time, see if you might just begin to notice. Just allow for the possibility that there is this current of energy rising up through the body. That there is a force which carries the body up from the ground into the sky, towards the sky. Like these spring shoots, of which there are so many right now in the forest. Maybe in the gardens around you, in the parks. These seedlings shooting upwards into the sky, leaping for joy almost out of the earth. And for yourself, imagine yourself as one of these seedlings, these shoots bursting forward. See if you can notice the uplift, joy, this force, this life force. And using the next minute or so to transition now into the third and final part, which is going to be movement. Very slowly beginning to tune in to any movement the body wants to make. Not forcing it, not pushing it. Really, in a sense, just stepping back and clearing space. For the body now to begin moving in whatever way that it wants to. And you can keep your eyes closed for this part, but stay safe, be aware of what's around you. And really encourage you to keep stepping back, keep getting out of the way of the body. And letting it off the reins, letting it off the leash. Noticing if there's any judgment of the movement, any ideas of how the body should move or what it should look like. And letting go. Tuning into that sense of energetic flow that is underneath the movement. Allowing the energy to dance you. And again, there's nothing here that says you have to be standing on 2 feet, or that the torso, the trunk of the body has to be upright. Maybe the movement wants to carry you a different in the room. And just watch out if part of you is jumping in to make something of the movement, creating some kind of a plan. Maybe just for a moment slow down. Slow down and really feel into the body. Notice what movement feels good, or even great. And if that's not there for you, don't force it. Nobody says you have to move at all in this 8 minutes. Maybe there's joy for you in being still. And again, wherever you're moving, if you're moving, see if you can notice, even if it's just as an idea, just let it be so that there is a force that's holding you up, that's holding up all this matter that you are, your bones, your muscles, soft tissues, your organs, it's all here, suspended above the earth. Whether you feel that or not. See if you can tune into that subtle uplift. It's constantly dancing with gravity. And keep allowing everything that's you. Nothing needs to be excluded. If the feeling is, or the thought is, I don't want to move, then just allow that thought to move in you. the speed of your awareness. And maybe the movement wants to come faster. Maybe you move the attention to another part of the body, to the legs. How do the thighs want to move now? How does the neck want to move now? How does the face want to move? The mouth and the lips, the tongue. Maybe the answer is not at all. It's constantly opening up the space for whatever wants to arise. Again, notice if there's a pattern of movement that seems to be repeating, and feel free to break it up. Be your own disruptor, and then just go back to witnessing the movement that wants to be there, completely naturally. Notice those parts of the movement that feel free and easy. Any sense of openness. Any sense of lightness. Notice the breath. Now slowly, in the next 30 seconds, finding an end to the movement. Gently, gently bringing the body back to standing in stillness for a moment. Maybe just keeping the eyes closed. Inviting you to put a hand on the heart area and a hand on the belly. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And taking a moment now to give thanks to our bodies. Maybe you want to give them a little bit of a squeeze. Squeeze the torso. Give the arms a squeeze, give yourself a hug. Give the body some love and some gratitude for bringing you here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending this time together with me and for making this meditation. I'm going to be back next Tuesday at the same time, 7:30 in Europe, and another member of the IBI team will be back at the same time tomorrow for the next daily live meditation. So in the meantime, go well. Thank you.